so excited. This next guest is going to come in and talk about the faith walk of just being an athlete and a student. I know a lot of you guys are going through a lot of trials and tribulations and just trying to understand your purpose as an athlete. So I'm so excited for this amazing guest to hit on. Moe Moe, how's it going?
Yo, what's up? What's up, Coach P? How you doing? How you doing?
I am well. Thank you so much for taking out the time of your busy day because I know you are doing some amazing things. So shout out to you. How are you doing?
I'm feeling blessed. I'm just feeling blessed. I've been it's been the ministry has been going. Every
Mhm.
day has been rolling, so I'm just really good. So yeah, really blessed.
Awesome. And I love what you said, the ministry. So we're going to start right there. Just tell the people
Yeah,
about who you are and what you're currently doing.
yeah. So my name is Mo. Some of you guys might know me as Mo Speaks. I'm currently in ministry and working with FCA at the time, but also an entrepreneur and work with the faith-based community as far as that too as well. So yeah,
Most definitely. And he is definitely speaking. So y'all make sure y'all checking out. Well, we're
yeah,
going to dive into that for all that. So going into the ministry, but we know it's Christian. But you're going to explain. I want you to explain about that understanding for people that may not know about FCA. If you can just give a little detail about that first.
yeah. So FCA is a Fellowship of Christian Athletes. It's not just subject to athletes though. And what we kind of do is we kind of go into the schools and preach the gospel and spread the good news, but then also love on the kids and provide character coaching moments as well too. So
Mm. And y'all know Coach Perry love the kids. Y'all
yeah,
know I love y'all, so it's gonna be right down your area of it, guys. So
yeah,
going into that, you were a former athlete. I say were for the people listening, but as we know, always an athlete. Once an athlete, always an athlete.
yeah,
Has had.
yeah.
So tell us about what sport did you play when you started playing sports?
Yeah, so I started way back, probably when I was, in elementary school, playing basketball, soccer. Those were probably the biggest, sports that I gravitate towards too. And it's funny because I didn't start football until like middle school. Then I started taking it really serious until like my sophomore
Mhm.
year in high school. So that's when things really started to change. And then I got the opportunity to play at Southwestern Oklahoma State in Division II football. So that was really good too as well.
Awesome. Division two. Okay, football there playing.
Yeah.
And with that being said, know that you went there and you played college ball, but how was the transition from your high school going into college playing ball?
Man, it's a lot because when you think about transitioning from high school to college, is like the things that you did in high school is not going to work when you get to college, and I found that out really quick. So I really worked really hard, but I think another thing is just being in a place where you have to be able to be open minded. You really have to be able to say, what, okay, I'm going to a new place. Sometimes for me, I went to Oklahoma, so it's totally different than Texas. From Texas originally, but now going from Texas to Oklahoma and seeing the transition with just the environment too as well, environment, the culture, and the game is still the same, but as far as the physical aspect of it, you got to train a little bit more, you got to be a little bit more disciplined, and you really just got to take that next level and take that next step. Really just kind of being able to say, what, I'm going from what I did in high school, is great, but I had to be able to take myself to a different standard. I had to help myself at a different standard, take myself to a different level, mindset wise, and training and just things like that. So I'll say that transition was, for me, it was really good to see because I got to see the things I needed to work on, but then also got to be able to say, what, these are the things I'm good at. Let me start ironing those out. So
Wow. Goes to the big word of self-awareness. You became self-aware more
yeah,
in detail when in college. And I think that's a lot for athletes to know as you guys are listening. You go through that high school and elementary where you're doing everything, you're known for everything, and then now you're out in this world kind of by yourself. And it's like,
yeah,
who am I? Especially when you're competing people with people from all around the world.
yeah,
So with that, what were some of the challenges and things that you actually faced
yeah.
once you went to college?
Man, I'll say, some challenges that I faced was really just kind of getting adjusted to that, college life. Because, you have guys that's been here for years. maybe 3 or 4 plus years doing what you're trying to, start, or if you're trying to start on the team, if you're trying to get on the field, is that they've been doing it for a long period of time. They figured out the X and O's. You're still trying to figure all that out. So in the midst of that, I think, just really facing adversity head on. I think that's, for me, was really important to understand. Okay, if I'm going to be in a college setting, I got to be able to find what I'm weak at. I got to be able to find, really adjust to say, well, okay, this is what I need. These are my strengths, but these are the things I need to work on. And, as an athlete, you have to be honest with yourself, look at
Yeah.
yourself in the mirror and says, what, okay, what do I need to work on? Not necessarily, compare yourself to other people. Cause I did that a lot, compare myself to the guys that I came in with. I'm like, man, like these guys are good. Some of these guys may be faster. Some of the guys may be stronger, or, the guys in front of you that's already like, man, how can I live up to what they already doing right now as a freshman? And really just facing that adversity. But I think for me, I really looked in myself in the mirror and say, what do I add to the table? What is my value? What is my role on the team, rather than just my position? So once I kind of really found out what my role was instead of my position, that's when I was able to that transition a lot more and really identifying that and not putting myself, comparing myself to other players. So
I hope y'all took note of that. He said what his role was, not his position. I'm gonna use that. Don't try to find me, but I'm gonna use that. You got to know your role, not just your position, because anybody can play a position, but you identify the role that is best for you to be in.
yeah,
And you did that. And I want you just to expound on that, especially to the female athletes, but also to the male athletes that play football and things like you said. You're
yeah,
talking about a lot of people on the team. Again, you're coming from a big time place where you pay, and now you're like, where do I fit in?
yeah.
What's my role? So, how did you do that? And how did you identify your role and was still okay with being with the team? Because as we know, a
Mm,
lot of kids and parents will take their kids and tell them you need to go somewhere else if they're not getting the playing time like they used to. So just
yeah.
kind of expand on that.
Yeah, so I think, when I think about, my role and where, really where God had me at, saying that, I'm not going to be that guy that's going to go on the field, but I may be able to help out the guys that are going on the field, and having that team aspect, knowing I'm really big about team, and knowing that it's not just me. They say, like, there's no I in team. And when you think about that, you really have to know it's okay. If there's no I in team, what do I bring to the table? How am I able to identify that? So I really had to do, really like self-reflection on, okay, what am I good at? What are the things that I'm able to, really display, more than just on the field? And then how can I sharpen that to help better the team, help better individuals? Because once you're able to do that, you'll start to see and find the right role that you fit, on the team, and you're able to help out the team in ways that you might not even think about. And it's crazy that we say that because, I remember we had midnight workouts, and when I think about team, is the team will able to a team will go get somebody who is left behind, a team will go get somebody who's struggling, and they'll all go together, and in the community, to bring them to the goal that they're trying to go to. And to see that, during our midnight workouts, going from Texas high school football to the middle of Oklahoma at midnight, and when it's snowing, when it's ice, and really just seeing, really just seeing, it's like, man, like, okay, if I got a team that's able to say, or if I'm able to say, hey, let's go get this guy because he's struggling, that's kind of like my role, is kind of like identifying those weak parts where we able to be stronger in. So
Mm,
that's really kind of where I found my purpose.
I love it. That's just so significant to hear you say that because unfortunately, we ain't that old, but we get that all the time when you out of school. But you just graduated, so congratulations to you. um on that standpoint. So you are still in the mix of that young gene that has been in that milk, but still to be able to say that you work together as a team and it wasn't just about you, that
Yeah,
everybody went back and did it. And it's so valuable because, like you said, there's no I in team. But
yeah,
unfortunately, again, we now have NILs and
man,
NIL has I in it.
yeah,
So sometimes you get where kids feel like I got to do all this. I got to do that because they have so much burden on them from
Yeah,
parents and friends and family saying that they need to be that superhero for the city, superhero of their hood, that
yeah.
they forget that. So just, I know what you just said from your standpoint, but can you just pour into some of those young kids now to just believe and like, no, I got to go do this. I have to do this for me.
Yeah, and I think I definitely understand what it means. You have to go. Get back to your community. Support your family and all that. But understand is that when you walk on that campus, when you walk on that field or whatever, the court, wherever you are for your team, for your sport, you have to understand it's a team. You really have to understand is that you got to put the team first before you put yourself first, and that's called, and that's sacrifice. They don't really teach. You really got to sacrifice a lot, if you want to be the best. You want to sacrifice a lot if you want to be on the best team. It's not going to be I want to sacrifice a lot to be the best version of myself when I play for a team or university. Is that they're going to look at you as like, okay, well, you probably don't fit the mold. But if you really able to say, you know what, I'm a sacrifice my playing time. I'm gonna sacrifice me getting some shine, or just something that that you might get if you were playing or if you were starting, to sacrifice that for the betterment of the team and find your role in that. Then you'll start to see, okay, now I can teach something that's just more than just money, more than just an NIL deal that some kids would get to help out their families. But at the same time, it's like you can help them out so much more if you show them an idea of what a team looks like and bring that back home
Mhm.
to them, rather than some money that's only going to last a little bit. Why would you bring something that's only going to last for a minute when you can bring something that's going to last for a lifetime? And that's where you really
Yeah,
start to see the idea of team. So yeah.
I love that because lifetime is character.
Yeah.
Lifetime is committing to something that's
Hmm.
going to be lasting. Lifetime is skills, as we call them, the soft skills that can't be replaced, that you're
Yeah.
going to always need in life.
Yeah.
With or without money, you're going to need those things. So I'm so glad that you hit on that importance of, hey, you got to do this and it got to be a team effort. So just jump into now, like, where do you find your passion and your purpose to walk in the ministry that you're walking into?
Yeah, so for me, my passion came from I guess just seeing how God had His hand on me when I was playing ball, when I came to my faith, and really just seeing what He allowed me to do right off the rip, from going from, okay, I know a little bit about God, to where, okay, God, you there, I hear you, to really giving my life toward to Him, and seeing how I was able to change not just my circle, but the environment of my college, and then the environment of the town, and then the surrounding town. And that came through FCA. And it was really just amazing to see that, because, God, placed me in a position to where I was able to lead. And, we talk about character, and, how did God really molded my character on the field to help me, lead in the ministry that I'm in now too, as well. So I'm over, a lot of high schools right now in the DFW area with Fort Worth and Crowley, and it's just been amazing just being able to see how these kids gravitate towards me because of the leadership, but then also to see how God is moving in them. A lot of them, my heart goes out to the youth, and I know that God has placed that on my heart, tremendously, because I remember the time where I didn't have that. I didn't grow up in church, or I didn't have a system where I had older people when I was at such a young age to say, oh, God loves you. I didn't have that when I was younger, so I want to be able to give that to somebody else. And we talk about lifetime of character, lifetime of just different things, and now having mentors that people are mentoring me and saying, man, be able to go do this, and I'm learning from them and passing it down to the younger generation. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. Like having that character, but also mentorship that you can push down to other people. It's just so vital. And I just say so vital because I'm one of those ones, being a former athlete and also former coach. I tell people all the time, sports saved my life.
yeah.
Sports was my way of being able to say who I am. I already know whose I am, but who I am, because sports built that leadership, that character, that resiliency, that identifying my purpose of walking in that, being okay to walk alone, being okay with failing. And that's something that so many of our youth are scared to do. But
Yeah.
when you're on several different teams and you take losses and you still bounce back, life
Yeah.
hit you, you be like, come on now, that's it. I got a 50 piece done to me in 10th grade. That's it. You
Yeah.
know, not too much, y'all. Not too much on that. And we went to get some tough girls when it came down to the big league.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that sports do teach you so much. And I'm just so thankful that I was blessed to go through storms that led me here. And that was through sports.
Yeah.
Because some people got to go through other storms, but we was blessed to have a sports storm that
Mhm.
built us and shaped us to the individuals that we are. And most important, being able, like you said, to give back. It's nothing like giving back to others, because a lot of us that have played sports, especially my young athletes, when you get through playing sports, you're going to always see somebody that resemble you or needs you because they look like you. They're going to have the same pain, and you're going to identify them as soon as you walk in the room.
Yeah.
And being that this is what you do and you go into schools,
Yeah.
I know it's probably what it's been up under a year or so you've been working with FCA. Have you just walked into one of those schools and you be like, man, that kid me? Like,
So
that's
it's funny, being a speaker. I used to give like pregame speeches like to my team before, and I remember I was walking in. This is recent too. I walked in with one of my mentors, and we walked into the locker room, and all I could hear is this kids going off on these other kids on the team. It's like, hey, like y'all need to we need to lock in. We got this. Don't worry about it. The first half over with. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I was like, he sounded like somebody I know. And I was like, man, and I was like, this is me when I was in that age,
yeah,
speaking out, when nobody wanted to speak, or when something needed to be said and somebody didn't want to say it. That was me saying it. And seeing him do it, I was like, man, like that's the guy that I was. And to see how far I came from that has just been a blessing. So yeah.
great, great, great. And in addition to that, we know as athletes, again, we talked about the challenges you face. We know athletes are going to continue to face challenges. But like you said, you had to walk in purpose. And
Mhm.
finding that was through ministry. And
Yeah.
here on our actual podcast, as well as the YouTube channel, Student Success, what would you say is the biggest thing that students need to be successful and navigating through life?
I'll say to have faith. To have faith. You like I think, when you face challenges, when you face things that you have no control of, or things may just seem heavy, you have to have faith. And I put my faith in God because I know He's always going to be there. He's always going to help me through. And even when I feel like, like we talk about being an eye in a storm, is that God is a companion in the storm. God's going to guide you the right ways to get out of the storm. So, I think that's very important. One, to have faith. Two, to be confident who you are, be confident in the athletic abilities that He gave you, because understand that He has made you. You're the only person on this earth that is you. You're the only person on this earth that has that knows everything about you, that can knows how far you can jump, how strong you are, and knows all of it, and He knows it too. But you have to be confident and know that when you step on the field and on the court, and last, just have fun while you playing. I think that's probably one of the most things I kind of, being, a football player, I took a lot of, things serious, but understand this is not going to last a lifetime. This is only going to be a period of your life. Have fun with it, allow yourself to laugh a little bit, allow yourself, of course, be focused and stay focused when those times come, but allow yourself to really just enjoy it. Cause I feel like when you enjoy something, you don't wake up and saying, man, I got to go to practice, man, I got to go, ready for this game. It's like, man, I get to go do this. I get to go to practice. I get to go to the games. I get to, just put on that uniform. And that's why most things I think kids don't think about is like, one day you're not gonna be able to put on that uniform. One day you're not gonna be able to tie up them shoes, and one day you're not be able to put on them pads. The question is that are you gonna be joyful when you do have those opportunities?
Come on. Ooh, that's that preaching right
Yeah.
here. That's that preacher. Preach, Mo, preach. I love what you said. Have fun. And as always, you guys, because we'll be going, I'd be like, okay, we write down. I'm like, nah, he just put some more out there that we got to dive into that. We was almost at the end. But I love that have fun because, like you said, most of us being athletes, we are determined to win. We have that mindset that we got to go get it. We got to eat. We that dog. And
Yeah.
we forget to have fun. And as you said, too, we got to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I started having fun as a coach, and then parents was like, "Why are you doing all that, Coach Bear? They should be playing." No, because like you said, it's going to end.
Hmm.
And we have to be honest. Had the
Yeah.
pleasure of talking to a group this morning at Huffman High School. Shout out to y'all in Birmingham, Alabama. Fellowship Christian athletes there, and I was talking to them about that because realistic, one and so many millions goes to the actual league.
Yeah.
And we hate to say that, but we won't be walking in word if we're not telling the truth.
Yeah.
And then we got another 2 to 3% goes to a D3, D2, and so forth on. We're not saying that you can't make it.
Hmm.
Anything is possible through God, but what we are saying that enjoy what God has given you at the time that you have it.
Yeah.
I was that team captain and I was all pumped up, getting everybody together. Woo, woo, woo. Boy, that last day of school, I was crying, babe. I'm like, man, where have time gone?
Yeah.
So it's so important, like you said, just to have fun on it. And having fun means being able to back again, go through different challenges and adversities, and God always throws stuff back on me. So
Yeah.
with that, how did you move through that with like coaches? I'm for sure that you probably didn't do as much, Mo, but we don't know. Everybody have a past. But when you have that time frame, when you have coaches where you're real up tempo and you're really not having fun because you don't know how to communicate with your coach because you're not either
Yeah.
getting that playing time or you're not getting that standout position. How can they handle that part as an athlete?
Yeah. So I'll say, a personal about me is that, or a personal story about me is that I had probably about 3 or 4 coaching changes in my collegiate career, and head coaches. So they wiping out, the whole staff. And probably around all the coaches that I know in my college career, probably around, at least 30 probably different guys. And, that's 30 different personalities, coming in and out. Position wise, probably had about 2 or 3 different coaches, and really had to navigate. Okay, if I know I'm still trying to, get to know my coach, right? Because of course you need to have that relationship with the coach and understand that. And sometimes, it's good, and sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you have to be able to remind yourself what is the reason why you came to this school. What is the reason why you came to this sport, and what is the reason why you play, right? Later down my college career, I found out I played for Christ. God has given me this athletic ability. That's who I play for. But to get through that, though, I would say you have to really understand your why. And then after that, after Christ, it's my family. And then after that, is showing kids is that even though you might face a little bit of adversity, even though that you might not get along with the coach, is that you made a commitment. And I made a commitment not to the coaches but to the sport. Is that I'm gonna finish this when it's time for me to be done. When God wants me to be done, I'll be done. And I was granted to have 4 years. Most college kids don't have 4 years worth of football, to be able to play and be able to say that, okay, I had 4 years. I was able to go stay at one school. Yeah, that's like almost rare because a lot of people like to do what they want to do for themselves. But again, what did you commit to? Did you commit to the coaches? Or did you commit to the school? Or did you commit to the game?
Yeah,
So
man. That just was a whole mouthpiece right there, Mo. He said, "When I say I'm done, then I'm done." Like, yeah, I can just take that piece right there and just run with it. Like, no matter what your coaches and people are saying to you and the staff, long as you're showing up every day and walking in your purpose and what God wants you to do when He say you've done,
yeah.
because He would even make your enemy your footstool.
Mm.
So you just keep playing. And that was something that I was telling the kids again this morning. I had a coach my 11th grade year, end up stopped playing. I did not like how he was talking to us as females and the things that he was saying. I stood up for, which ended up having me leave the team. It
Yeah.
had me leave the team, but I left with dignity because you was not going to talk to me like that. No man in my family was talking to me in that nature.
Yeah.
However, I got a lot of different recruits came in, but I didn't get the letters
Mm,
because of the situation. He didn't want it, and he was demanding on you would not go to a college. But because of the character and the person that I stood up, I had other coaches that knew me, seen my character and the skills that I had, and they still made a way and helped me get in college.
wow, that's good.
So even though the enemy thought he had something did, God said, I already knew her path. But I wanted her to step up for herself because she's going to need that in life to be the woman that she is. And as I'm thinking about it now, that's why I'm so tough now. Because I'm like, I'm going to stand up for mine.
Yeah.
But it put you in situations along your life so you can be like, dang, God, that's what you did that for.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why. And Lord behold, I've seen this man over the past couple of years, and I'm just the real as he gets. So ain't no shade if it is taking and run with it, boo boo. He is actually one of the head of the referees association down here, and he has begged me several times. I need you out here, coach. I want you to be a rep. I need you out here. I need you out here. And I'm like, man, you couldn't even look me in the face. But now
Wow.
God got you calling and looking for me.
Yeah.
So everything has a purpose, you guys. Every single thing have a purpose. And going into we're gonna say the last two is I know you kind of hit on it, but
Hmm.
this one is as you said when God said you done because again challenges are gonna happen, but a big focus. How did you deal with mental health
Mm.
as athletes as your time as a collegiate career? How did you deal with that?
Man, I think, for one is I think everyone needs, I think this is more than just athletes, but for athletes, find something that you do outside of your sport. That was very important for me. And like I was able to really, have alone time when I had downtime. I used to go to this pond and it was peaceful. And, and that's where I, was able to really just write out, I journal too as well and we're able to write out the things that I was feeling at the time. Because, if you think about it, if you have all those, emotions, all those feelings, all those thoughts of, man, I'm not good enough, or man, why am I not playing? Or I haven't, I didn't do good in practice today, or I had a bad day. You think about all that, in your head, that's just negative thoughts that's rolling. So once you put it on paper and then you let it go, it's gone. And be able to be at a peaceful moment, I think that's where I really started to find, take care of my mental health, because I was at a point where I felt at my lowest where mentally, from football, from personal life, from classes, because you're still a student athlete, to having to, write a whole paper, then at the night, just because you're tired during the day, you got practice and meetings, there's so much pressure. But when you're able to take that pressure off and really release it, then you start to see, okay, I'm able to take care of my mind, take care of my mental state, and now be able to perform the way that God wants me to perform.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Look, y'all. I know y'all be like, "What's you doing?" Look, I got a notepad. Y'all just don't understand. I'm writing notes. I'm trying to get these notes in with most speaker. Look, y'all better do what I do. Y'all better get these notes in while y'all have it. Even if you got to pause and come back to it, of just making sure, like he said, of taking that time out. And it's so needed. I don't think we do enough of it because of culturally how we're set up, especially in the Black and Brown community, that
Yeah.
we do not take in scribe of mental health and mental health awareness and the things that we need to do for our self-care. Because if you're not caring for yourself, it's going to be hard to be able to devote as a teen or a student that you can be able to stand up and do different things. And I always say, you guys, students are not just the basketball, the football. It's those students cheerleaders. It's those students flag football. Now, it's those chess clubs. It's anything that you do outside of that 8 hours. You are a student athlete, and you need self care for you too.
Yeah.
In addition to our students, because I know some of you guys are watching that are just students too, so we're not beholden on that, but we're
Yeah.
just saying today on that part of success within student athletes and the things that you need to do to be successful. And with that, what are some of like just your lasting words that you want to say to students in general, student athletes too, about just maneuvering through school?
I'll say balance. Balance is the first thing that comes to mind. And one of the first things that I was taught is learn how to balance everything. You can't, if you think about, where if you had a stick and you had your finger right here and you put everything that you're involved in your life day to day, is that it has to be able to balance. You can't have one thing that's weighing down more, because then the stick gonna fall off. And really understand, when I talk about just different aspects from high school athletes, is that you may have a job, you may be, helping out at home, you may have your personal life, and you got your school that you got to take care of. You might be part of a club, or you might be, class president. All those things are great, but learn how to balance those and and learning how to do that early. So when you get to college, or when you just get in life in general, is that you'll learn how to, maneuver through different things, so you don't feel overwhelmed, and that you don't feel, like I can't do anything because I have so many things going on. There's a reason why, because God gave you that ability to be able to steward those. You just have to learn how to steward them. So
Definitely. You got a story, Tam. Y'all
yeah.
just give him a round of applause. I'm gonna have to get the clapping and everything to go along with it. But we thank you so much just to come on, pouring into the youth, pouring into the young adults as you are still traveling through what God wants you to do early on, and you're still making a huge impact. So again, we thank you, and we are praying over you, just asking God to just continue to push you, and
Yeah.
also surrender everything that He wants for you, because you have so much that's far ahead of it. I'm so excited for what you're doing and the impact that you're making on so many people. I'm truly thank you for that. And lastly, just let the people know, where can they find Moe Moe?
Yeah, if y'all on Instagram, go look up Mo Speaks, MOE, and then Speaks, and then underscore 237. Also look up Jalen Momoh on Facebook. I'm on Facebook for my 30 plus friends. So that, and then also TikTok, Motivational Mo. Y'all be able to find me there too as well. So
Yes, Moe Moe Mondays. Y'all better get with it. It's gonna be in the show notes too, but y'all get with this, brother. Get with him, because he kind of downplayed when he got to that part. But I'm gonna hype mine up, and I'm always gonna hype up, especially when we have young black brothers that are out here really making an impact and doing something positive. Everything he does with surrenders of the Lord, and he also does it to the top of the T. So
yes.
y'all follow him. If you got any comments, any young males too, or females, but I'm gonna keep it to young males because we know how these females get, because you is a little chocolate brother. So males, drop some comments, anything you have for him, anything that you put down, and we'll make sure we get to him so he can be able to answer those. And any way you want to connect with him, let them know where they can connect with you in Texas. Is there a certain place or certain area you're in that we can connect?
Well, I'm in the Mansfield area, and then also at Fort Worth and Crowley ISD. So anywhere in there, y'all can come find me. And then we can take it from there. I'm really open to really just helping the next generation and guiding the youth. So yeah.
Let's go. Well, y'all heard it, and y'all know what it is. It's your girl, Coach Perry. Don't just talk about change, be a doer of change. Why? Because your success and definitely your purpose matter.